All right, guys, welcome back to the Rolling Grill. Today, we're gonna do a twist on a Bojangles favorite of mine. If you've never had Bojangles chicken, they have a delicious Cajun chicken biscuit with pimento cheese. Man, it's ridiculous, especially when they cook it fresh. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna do a twist on a Cajun chicken filet biscuit from Bojangles right here on the Rolling Grill. Y'all stay tuned. Yeah, bye. First things first for the chicken. You got to deal with the chicken first. So what I've done is I've taken a chicken breast and I've cut it in half. These are probably like 4 to 6 ounce chicken breasts, and I just cut them in half. And I've got a bunch of halves inside this pan right here. So simple. First thing I'm gonna do, this is Cajun seasoning. Any Cajun seasoning you like. This one right here doesn't have a lot of salt in it, so that one's going in first. And that's probably about a 1/4 of a cup. Next is what's gonna give you my salt. This is the garlic salt. I like the garlic salt because it has a great little flavor. That I like the garlic punch that it puts out. But this one is really salty. So that's probably about 1/4 of a cup as well. And then you just want to mix it around. That's what my chicken's looking like right now. And I know you're thinking, man, that's a lot of salt. Nah, trust me. What I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna brine the chicken. So this is what it's looking like right now. Now I'm gonna come in with a cup of water. And the water is gonna balance it all out. If you need more water, add more water. I've got a lot of chicken breasts in here. But that's basically what I'm looking at. It's looking like a slurry inside of there. And I'm gonna marinate my chicken in the refrigerator for probably about 2 hours. I want it to absorb as much flavor as I possibly can. And then we'll go on to the next step. So y'all stay tuned. 1/4 cup of Cajun seasoning, 1/4 cup of garlic salt, and then a cup of water, and you should be good to go. In the refrigerator it goes. I just want to give you a close-up of what it's looking like. And keep in mind now, I only added a cup of water, but that the salt is going to draw a little bit of moisture out of the chicken, so you actually end up with a little more liquid. But you just don't want to dilute it too much, because then then you're not going to taste the flavor of the salt and everything else that you put in it. So in the fridge. All right, next thing up to bat is we have to make the pimento cheese. Now, of course, you could go and buy it pre-made, but I mean, it's really simple to make. All you need is some extra sharp cheddar, some mild cheddar. Of course, you need some pimentos, preferably diced pimentos, a good mayo. I like this particular brand. And then I'm gonna add a Philadelphia cream cheese, but this one is a spicy one. This one's a spicy jalapeno. So it'll give it a little bit of kick to that pimento cheese. So these are all the ingredients. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, first things first. You wanna start off by draining your pimentos. You don't want the liquid. So you just wanna drain those. I'm gonna let these sit to the side for a little bit and drain out. Now, let's go ahead and get started on the cheese. And if you have a box grater, perfect. I'm gonna start with the extra sharp cheddar. And I'm gonna use this clear bowl so you can see. And you're basically just gonna grate it. That's all you're gonna do. Each one of the cheeses. This is the extra sharp. This is just the easiest way to do it. The only reason why you want to use this kind of cheese instead of the cheese that comes in the bag is that cheese usually has like a wax film or something on top of it. This one does not. So you're just getting straight cheddar cheese. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I think that should be enough. All right, so that's our extra sharp cheddar. And then you're gonna do the same thing with your mild cheddar. You want to use a smoked cheddar, even better. And so we're gonna do the same thing with this. And so when I bring you back, we'll start adding the rest of it. All right, next up is pimentos. And again, this was a 4-ounce container of pimentos. You definitely want to drain it. You might even have to put it in a paper towel to try to get as much of the moisture off as you can. And I'm gonna add all of that pimento cheese, all of that pimento to the cheese. And I forgot to show you guys, this is basically, I think everybody knows what shredded cheese looks like, but this is the sharp and the mild cheddar. All right, next up, mayo. I already have some here. Now, I'm gonna only start with about 1/4 cup of mayo, because as I start to mix this in, you'll see that the volume of it is gonna start to go down once you start mixing the mayo and the cream cheese. So if I need more, I'll add more later, but I'm gonna start with like 1/4 cup of mayo. All right, let's get that added. Cream cheese. Make sure you use room temperature cream cheese, and I'm gonna try to go with about 1/4 cup of cream cheese as well. All right, and now we have everything in a bowl. Now it's basically just a mixing game. It's just a mixing game at this point, and you'll see that as we start to mix this cheddar cheese will start going down and down in volume. It's gonna start compressing because you're adding mayo and cream cheese and other stuff to it. So let's get the mixing. Pimento cheese, man. Pimento cheese, man. I mean, you could eat pimento cheese on anything. Hamburgers. I mean, you name it, man. Pimento cheese is like, I used to hate it as a kid. But like other things, when you get older, I used to hate Brussels sprouts. But now, man, I love Brussels sprouts. But pimento cheese is just one of them things I just couldn't get with. And it was probably because I never had a good one. All right, now you can see it's starting to go down in volume. I'm gonna add a little bit more mayo, just a touch more mayo. That's a spoonful. And I'm gonna continue to work it. You kind of want to work it until you really can't see any more of that mayo or cream cheese. And then you definitely want to let this sit in the refrigerator and come together. If you notice, I didn't add any salt or anything like that to it. I mean, cheese is salty enough. All right, I'm gonna just keep working it. I'm gonna let the camera roll on this one, just so you can see exactly how long it takes to kind of work it in. Yep. Let's taste that. That's pretty good right there. All right. Just keep on working it. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit more cream cheese. That's just me. I probably shouldn't, but I am. And then that should do it. You just want to work it in. All right. So I think I got what I need. I think I'm good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and set this in the refrigerator and just let it come together. The longer it sits, the better it gets. All right, now that we have our pimento cheese good to go, I'm just gonna go ahead and pack it in a 16-ounce plastic container and stick it in the refrigerator. And there you have it, my friends. Homemade pimento cheese. Ready for you whenever you're ready to use it. Stay tuned. Biscuits. All right, guys, next, biscuits. Flour, baking soda, baking powder, salt, and buttermilk. And a teaspoon and a half teaspoon, and a cup measure. And that's it. Let's get to it. All right, first things first, start with 4 cups of flour. Just put your flour in here. And you don't want to, kind of want to just level it off a little bit. And that's it. So we'll start with 4 cups of flour. All right, next up is 4 teaspoons of baking powder. Got that right here. Then you need a half a teaspoon of baking soda. Got that right here. And let's go with a pinch of salt. All right, we want to mix our baking soda, baking powder, flour, and salt together. And next up is the butter. I forgot to mention this butter in the ingredients for the biscuits, but you need 2 cups of butter. So this is frozen butter. I put it in the freezer. Let me get this out the way. You're gonna take your box grater again, and you're gonna work your butter in your box grater because you want your butter to be as fine as possible. Real small pieces. So we're gonna work this butter in the box grater. Let me show you what you want it to look like. Little small curls. That's what you want it to look like. Little small curls of butter. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get these 2 worked in. Then we'll move on to the buttermilk. All right, now that we have our butter, finished grating our butter, now we want to work it in. Just want to get all the butter out of here. Kind of want to work fast now because you want to keep your butter cold. All right, so now just want to take and work your butter around. Like I say, it's like it should be like fine sand, like gravel. That's the reason why you want to shave the butter in there as opposed to cutting it in dices, in small dices. It just works better if you shave cold butter in there. All right. You want to use this. You don't want to use your hands really because you don't want to make the butter start to melt. All right, so now that we have that worked in there real good, now it's buttermilk time. So we're going to use 1.5 cups of buttermilk. I'm going to pour it in real slow and start working it in. Well, let's just let all that roll. That's our 1st cup. Just want to work it in real good. Now we're going to come back with 1/2 cup. And if you need more, add more. If it looks dry, just add more. Add more buttermilk. And I'm sure everybody know how to make biscuits. Everybody should know how to make a biscuit. You got to know how to make some bread right now. You got to know how to make a biscuit. All right. All right, now what you want to do is you want to flour your surface. Flour your surface real good. Pour your mixture out. Flour on your hands, and now it's time to start working the dough. You don't want to work it too much. Like I say, you're not trying to melt your butter, but you want it to all come together. I got a little extra buttermilk right here in case I need it. And I think I will need a little extra. And all I'm gonna do is just pour a little extra on top and start working it in. Biscuit making is messy, so you gotta be prepared to get messy if you're gonna make biscuits. So I'm gonna go ahead and work this in there. I'm gonna work all your flour in there. All right, hopefully you guys saw the biscuit, saw me rolling out the dough. My camera started switching up on me. But anyway, anything you can use, anything like this you can use to cut biscuits. All I'm gonna do is go ahead and work some flour around the rim of it. Before I do that, I'm gonna take my baking sheet, spray it down with a little oil. Then I'm just gonna start cutting my biscuits, making sure not to twist. I'm just pressing down. Making sure not to twist, just press down. All right, here's our first biscuit. Let me put this right here. Biscuit number 1. Just pressing down. All right, biscuit number 2. These gonna be some big biscuits. Biscuit number 3. I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of these biscuits pressed out. We'll be right back. All right, and as you see, we got 11 biscuits. In the oven we go. We're gonna do 390 for probably about 18 minutes and they should be good to go. To the oven. All right, guys, now it's time to fry the chicken. The biscuits are in the oven. The chicken, the pimento cheese is done. let's go ahead and get the chicken done. So this chicken has been marinating for about 2 hours in this brine. All I have here is some all-purpose flour. I added a little salt and pepper to it, not much. I'm gonna count on this to give me all the flavor that I need. So it's pretty simple. I think everybody knows how to fry chicken. I'm not gonna do much to it. All I'm gonna do is dredge it in the flour. Let's go ahead with another piece. Let as much of it drip off as you can. Dredge it in the flour, and to the hot grease it goes. And this right here is exactly what I'm looking for. I want that flour to stick. Let's go ahead and get a few of them battered up. In the grease they go. All right, I thought I had it recorded, but anyway, I got my grease running at 375 degrees, 350 degrees rather. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop the chicken. I got 2 pieces in there so far. There is no better sound than chicken frying in some grease. Yes, sir. Almost there, y'all. And just like that, America, 20 minutes later, our biscuits are ready. We're gonna hit them jokers with a little bit of butter. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Chicken is still frying. Always want to butter your biscuits. And that's it. We're gonna let them sit here and cool. After this chicken come out, we'll start building our sandwich. Look at them biscuits, man. I even took my leftover dough and made me a little roll tied up biscuit. All right, 12 minutes later, chicken is ready. All right, guys, just like that, we're done. Chicken, biscuits, pimento cheese. I'm gonna stop talking. Let's go ahead and put it together. Back in the oven for a few minutes to let the cheese melt. And there you have it, guys. My version of Bojangles spicy Cajun filet biscuit. Yes, sir. Right here on the rolling grill. Look at that. That cheese gotta be oozing, man. You got to let that cheese ooze, y'all. So let's give it a taste. All right, guys, let's go ahead and give it a taste. Look at that, man. Look at that. Ooh, yes, sir. Mmm. Wow, that's it right there. Oh, yes, sir. Mmm. The pimento cheese. If you didn't like it as a kid, try it as a grown-up. Fantastic. So as always, I want to thank y'all for joining me here at the Rolling Grill. Good food, good vibes. Yeah, boy. Mmm.